The mansion woke up before the sun. Long halls echoed with quiet footsteps as workers moved carefully, cleaning without making noise. This house belonged to a powerful millionaire, a man who liked control, silence, and order. Nothing unexpected ever happened here, until the baby arrived. The black cleaning lady came every day before sunrise. She worked harder than anyone else and spoke very little. But what truly made people uncomfortable was not her silence. It was the baby she carried with her. The baby never smiled. From the moment he entered the mansion, he cried. Not soft crying, not tired crying. It was deep, painful screaming, like fear lived inside his tiny chest. Anyone who came close made it worse. Guards stepped back. Maids avoided him. Even kind faces failed. The baby pushed hands away. He kicked. He shook. He's scared of people. One worker whispered. No. Another replied nervously. It's like he knows something. The cleaning lady held him tight, rocking back and forth, whispering words no one else could hear. Her eyes were tired but alert. She had seen this reaction everywhere. Markets, buses, even hospitals. Her baby trusted no one. Then, one quiet morning, the front doors opened. The air changed. Heavy footsteps moved through the hall. The millionaire had returned early. He was known for his cold stare and serious face. People straightened their backs when he walked by. No one spoke unless spoken to. The baby heard him before he saw him. Suddenly, the crying stopped. Complete silence. Every head turned. The baby's eyes locked onto the tall man, walking toward the stairs. His body stopped shaking. His mouth slowly closed. His small fingers relaxed. The millionaire noticed the silence and looked around. That's when he saw the baby. The baby stared at him, unblinking. Then, slowly, something no one had ever seen happened. The baby smiled. A soft, peaceful smile. Gasps filled the room. That's not possible, someone whispered. The cleaning lady froze. Her heart pounded. She had never seen that smile, not once. The millionaire stopped walking. The baby reached out, not crying, not shaking, calling. Confused, the millionaire took one step closer. The baby laughed. A real laugh. The sound echoed through the hall, like a crack in reality. The baby leaned forward, stretching his arms as far as he could. No, the cleaning lady whispered, fear rising in her voice. Please. But the baby slipped from her arms and crawled across the cold floor, straight to the millionaire. He grabbed the man's leg and held on tight. The room went still. The millionaire looked down, shocked. He had held business deals worth millions, but nothing had ever made his hands shake like this. The baby pressed his face against him, breathing calmly, like he had finally found safety. The millionaire slowly bent down and lifted the baby. No crying, no fear. The baby rested his head on the man's shoulder and closed his eyes. Something strange happened inside the millionaire's chest. A feeling he had buried long ago came rushing back. Warm, heavy, familiar. Who is this child? He asked quietly. The cleaning lady's lips trembled. She looked away. He's different, she said softly, and he knows things before people do. The baby's fingers tightened in the millionaire's coat. Outside, the mansion stood tall and silent. Inside, a secret had just awakened, and this was only the beginning. The morning sunlight spilled across the millionaire's grand living room, catching the polished marble floors in sharp glints. The baby sat in his crib, eyes wide and suspicious. As usual, anyone who tried to approach him was met with frantic cries, arms flailing as if warning them away. But when the millionaire stepped into the room, the atmosphere shifted instantly. The baby stopped crying. His small hands reached out, and a tentative smile curved on his tiny lips. The millionaire froze for a moment, startled. He had seen many strange things in his life, but nothing like this. It was as if the child recognized him, but why? Curiosity stirred within him, stronger than he expected. He knelt on the floor, slowly extending a hand. The baby crawled toward him with surprising speed, clinging to his leg as if he found safety for the first time in his life. The millionaire's heart tightened. He could feel the weight of a connection he didn't understand, a bond that seemed almost magical. The cleaning lady watched silently from the corner, her face unreadable. She continued folding the laundry, but her eyes never left the baby. She had always known he was different. Even she didn't know why he only trusted this man, but the baby's reaction was undeniable. Do you always do this? The millionaire asked softly, more to himself than to the baby. The little one gurgled and reached up to touch his face, fingers brushing against the stubble on his chin. A laugh escaped the baby, small and airy, the kind that makes even the coldest heart soften. Over the next hour, the millionaire tried various ways to engage the child. He sang softly, waved small toys, and even tried feeding him. Every time, the baby's attention returned to him, ignoring anyone else nearby. It wasn't just trust. It was something deeper, something instinctual. The staff began to whisper among themselves. "He's only attached to him," one maid said quietly, shaking her head. "I've never seen anything like it." The millionaire felt a strange mix of pride and unease. Who is this baby, really? And why did he cling so fiercely to a man he had just met? He thought about the child's cries when others approached, and a shiver ran down his spine. This wasn't ordinary behavior. That night, the baby slept in the millionaire's study, curled up in his arms like a tiny, fragile animal. As he watched the child's soft breathing, he noticed something unusual, a small, faded mark on the baby's wrist. It looked like a letter, almost like a clue. He frowned, turning the child's hand over gently, but couldn't make sense of it. The cleaning lady hovered by the doorway, her face pale in the lamplight. He's never been like this with anyone," she said softly. "Not even his mother. You need to be careful. He senses things more than you think." The millionaire's curiosity deepened. "Senses things?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. She nodded slowly, her eyes fixed on the baby. "He knows things. Things that can't be explained. And somehow he chose you." For a moment, silence fell in the room, broken only by the faint sound of the baby's breathing. The millionaire held the child closer, a strange warmth spreading through him. He didn't understand why this tiny, fragile being trusted him so completely, but he knew one thing. He couldn't let the baby go. A feeling settled in his chest, a mix of wonder and unease. Something about this child was extraordinary, something that went beyond simple affection. And deep down, he feared that discovering the truth might change everything forever. As the clock ticked late into the night, the millionaire made a silent promise. He would uncover the mystery behind the baby's strange behavior, no matter what it took. And somewhere in the shadows of the mansion, the baby's gaze followed him, as if urging him forward, silently saying, "I chose you for a reason." The millionaire couldn't shake the feeling that the baby was trying to tell him something he couldn't yet understand. That night, as the moonlight filtered through the tall windows of the mansion, he sat in his study, the baby cradled in his arms. The tiny hands rested lightly on his chest, but the expression on the baby's face was far from ordinary. It was almost knowing. He remembered the cleaning lady's words. "He senses things more than you think." What could she have meant? The millionaire's curiosity had grown into a quiet obsession. He needed answers. The next morning, he gently approached the cleaning lady, who was folding freshly washed clothes. "Tell me about him," he said softly. "His past, his parents, anything you know." The woman hesitated, her hands freezing mid-motion. Her eyes flickered nervously toward the baby, who watched the interaction with wide, alert eyes. "There are things," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "Things you won't believe. He hasn't had a proper home. His mother, she wasn't like other mothers. She was frightened, always hiding. And his father, he left before the baby was born." The millionaire frowned. "So, why does he trust me?" The cleaning lady looked down at her hands, wringing them nervously. "I don't know. I never understood it myself. He's different. He doesn't cry for anyone, doesn't smile for anyone except you. There's a reason. But the truth is not simple." Her words stirred something deep in the millionaire, a feeling of responsibility he had never known. He glanced down at the baby, whose tiny eyes seemed to pierce right into him. Over the next few days, he observed the child closely. He noticed small things, how the baby flinched at sudden movements, how he recoiled from loud voices, and how he seemed drawn to the millionaire almost instinctively. Each detail painted a picture of a child who had known fear, abandonment, and loneliness far too early in life. One afternoon, while the baby napped in his arms, the millionaire's gaze fell upon an old photograph on the wall. It was of the cleaning lady, years younger, holding a baby that looked eerily familiar. A chill ran down his spine. Could it be? He confronted the cleaning lady gently. Who is this child? The one in the photo? Her lips trembled, and for a long moment, she said nothing. Finally, she spoke, her voice tight with emotion. That was his mother. She loved him, yes, but she was afraid of the world. People, they never understood her, and they never understood him. That baby, he has carried her fear with him, and now he's carrying yours. The millionaire felt the weight of her words settle on his shoulders. He realized that this baby's behavior, the clinging, the trust, the fear, was not just unusual. It was a cry for safety, a silent plea for someone who could understand and protect him. That night, as the mansion lay silent, he placed the baby in his crib, but instead of leaving, he stayed by the bed, watching over him. The moonlight glinted off the baby's wide, curious eyes. For the first time, the millionaire understood. This child had chosen him not by chance, but by instinct. He was meant to protect him. As he turned to leave, he heard the baby whisper, or perhaps it was only a sound in his imagination, a soft gurgle that seemed almost like a name he had never heard before, but somehow felt familiar. And deep in the shadows, the millionaire realized the baby's past was only the beginning. There were secrets yet to uncover, truths that could change everything if he dared to follow them. Days passed, yet the baby's strange attachment to the millionaire only grew stronger. Every morning, he would crawl toward the man as soon as he entered the room, his tiny fingers reaching out in silent trust. The millionaire, in turn, found himself drawn to the child, feeling a mix of protectiveness and wonder he had never known before. It started with small gestures, feeding the baby, making him laugh with silly faces, gently rocking to sleep. Each time, the baby responded in a way he never did with anyone else. He would cling tightly, burying his face in the millionaire's chest, letting out little coos that sounded almost like laughter. The mansion staff began noticing the unusual bond. "I've never seen a baby so attached to just one person," whispered one maid to another. "He cries for no one else, but he laughs when the master is near." But the millionaire couldn't shake a strange feeling of unease. There was something almost knowing in the baby's eyes, as if he understood more than any infant should. One evening, while playing within the study, the baby suddenly froze, staring at a shadowy corner. His tiny body tensed, and he let out a low, fearful whimper. The millionaire followed his gaze, puzzled. There was nothing there, or so it seemed. The baby's eyes never left that corner. Slowly, he crawled to the millionaire and clung to him as if he were protecting him from an invisible danger. The millionaire's heart tightened. He realized the baby's world was full of mysteries, some perhaps dangerous, and the child had instinctively chosen him as a shield. Over the next few days, he tried to understand the child's behavior. He observed subtle patterns, the baby's sudden fears, his joyful laughter when around him, and the way he seemed to sense emotions almost like a sixth sense. There was intelligence in his innocence, a depth that most adults would envy. One rainy afternoon, as thunder rumbled outside, the millionaire sat on the sofa with the baby on his lap. The child's eyes followed every movement, and he clutched his shirt like it was a lifeline. For a moment, the millionaire imagined the baby speaking if he could, telling him secrets of his little world. That thought sent a shiver down his spine, but it also made him feel an unbreakable connection. The cleaning lady watched silently from a distance, her expression unreadable. "He's chosen you," she said quietly, almost to herself. "And now he will not let go. But remember, his past shadows are never far behind." That night, as the millionaire tucked the baby into his crib, he felt the tiny hands grasp his fingers tightly. He stayed there, watching over him, listening to the soft rhythm of his breathing. The mansion was quiet, yet the air felt heavy with secrets the baby carried silently. It was as if every small gesture, the clutching of a finger, the soft gurgle of laughter, was a reminder of the unspoken bond growing between them. For the first time, the millionaire realized this was not just a child's attachment. It was a trust born of instinct, of recognition, of something deeper than words. He understood that this baby had survived a world full of fear, and now, in his arms, he had found someone who could offer safety, understanding, and perhaps even love. As he left the nursery that night, the baby's eyes followed him, wide and unblinking, almost as if saying, "I chose you. Don't let me go." And in that moment, the millionaire knew that their lives had changed forever. The bond was no longer just emotional. It was a connection that would guide their paths, revealing secrets, dangers, and truths yet to come. The mansion had always been grand, with polished floors, towering walls, and rooms filled with priceless antiques. Yet, despite all its beauty, one room remained a mystery, a door at the end of a long hallway that no one entered. The baby, small but perceptive, had started reacting strangely whenever he was near it. He would stop playing, crawl quickly to the millionaire, and clutch his leg tightly, letting out small, urgent cries. At first, the millionaire thought it was just fear of a closed space, but the pattern was too consistent. Every time he approached that door, the baby's tiny hands reached out, trying to stop him. Even the cleaning lady seemed hesitant to mention it. Something about the room was different. Curiosity gnawed at him. That evening, after everyone had left the hallways empty, he quietly approached the mysterious door. The baby, sensing what was about to happen, clutched at his shirt with surprising strength. The millionaire knelt beside him, brushing back the soft curls from his forehead. "It's okay," he whispered. "I'll find out what's in there." Slowly, he turned the handle. The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit room filled with old boxes, dusty furniture, and stacks of papers. But something else caught his attention, a small, locked cabinet at the far corner. The baby's eyes were fixed on it, wide and unblinking, as if the tiny body could sense the secrets hidden within. The millionaire stepped closer, reaching for the cabinet. Suddenly, the baby let out a loud cry, louder than any before, and grabbed his wrist tightly. "What is it, little one?" he murmured, concern rising in his voice. The child's small hands pressed against his chest, shivering slightly. It was more than fear, it was recognition, as if he knew something was inside the cabinet. He carefully opened the drawers, revealing old letters, photographs, and faded documents. His eyes widened as he sifted through them. There, in a stack of yellowed papers, he found a photograph, a young woman holding a baby with eyes identical to the one in his arms. And beside it, letters filled with despair, longing, and fear, all addressed to a name he recognized as own. The realization hit him like a thunderclap. The baby's past, the strange attachment, the instinctive trust, all made sense now. Somehow, this child was connected to his life in ways he could never have imagined. The little one's parents had left traces, hidden in these letters, waiting for the right person to find them. The baby, still clinging to him, seemed to sense the truth. His tiny fingers reached out for the photograph, and he gurgled softly, almost like recognition. The millionaire knelt on the dusty floor, holding both the baby and the photograph, feeling the weight of the child's history pressing down on him. The cleaning lady appeared at the doorway, her face pale. "I told you," she whispered, almost reverently. "He always knows. He knows things no one else can. That room, those papers, they belong to him, in a way. And you were meant to find them." The millionaire looked down at the child in his arms, whose wide eyes now seemed calmer, as if a piece of the puzzle had fallen into place. The bond between them had shifted. It was no longer just trust or affection. It was destiny, a connection rooted in secrets, waiting to be understood. As he closed the cabinet gently, the baby nestled closer, almost as if sensing that the mystery was only partially solved. There were more questions to answer, more truths to uncover. But one thing was certain. The millionaire and the baby were now bound together, not just by choice, but by fate. And somewhere deep in the mansion, hidden behind shadows and silence, more secrets awaited. Secrets that would change everything forever. The mansion was quiet, but the weight of secrets hung heavily in the air. The millionaire sat in his study, the baby asleep in his arms, while the letters and photographs from the mysterious cabinet lay scattered across the polished desk. Each paper told a story of love, fear, and loss, all connected to the child now resting against him. The cleaning lady stepped into the room, her expression serious but gentle. "It's time you know the truth," she said softly. "The baby, he is not just any child. His parents, they were part of your world long before you ever knew it." The millionaire frowned, confusion mixing with anticipation. "What do you mean?" he asked, his voice low, almost cautious. She took a deep breath. "His mother, she was your old friend, someone you cared about deeply. But life separated you. She loved him, loved the baby, but she was scared. Scared of people, scared of losing him. His father, he wasn't around. The world wasn't kind to her, and she tried to protect the baby from everything she feared you might not understand." The millionaire's heart pounded. Memories long buried resurfaced. Images of laughter, arguments, promises, and goodbyes. Could it be true? Could this tiny, fragile child be connected to a past he had thought was closed forever? He looked down at the baby. The child stirred in his arms, opening wide, curious eyes. In that gaze, the millionaire saw something familiar, something that went beyond instinct, recognition, a connection that neither time nor distance could erase. She left clues," the cleaning lady continued, pointing to the letters. "She wanted you to find him when the time was right. She knew you would protect him. She knew he would need someone strong, someone who could give him the safety he deserves." The millionaire's fingers trembled as he read through the letters again. Words of hope, longing, and trust filled the pages. They spoke of a future the mother had dreamed for her child, a future in the arms of someone who could care for him fully. And now, staring at the baby in his lap, he understood that child had chosen him. Not by accident, not by chance, but because destiny had tied their lives together. Tears blurred his vision. He held the baby closer, feeling a fierce protective love grow inside him. The child's tiny hands reached up, touching his face, gurgling softly as if to say, "I know you. I trust you. You're mine." The cleaning lady watched silently, tears glistening in her eyes. "He has suffered, yes, but he is strong. And he knows we'll keep him safe." That night, the millionaire stayed by the baby's crib, unable to leave. He thought of the mother, the life she had shielded her child from, and the choices that had led them here. Every detail, the baby's fear, his attachment, his intuition, made sense now. He realized the child had survived a world that was not ready for him, and now it was his responsibility to give him the home, love, and safety he deserved. As the baby slept peacefully, a faint smile curved on his lips. In that moment, the millionaire promised himself, nothing would harm this child. Not the past, not strangers, not even fate itself. And deep in the shadows of the mansion, the millionaire knew their lives were intertwined forever. The bond they shared was no longer just trust. It was destiny. And the story was far from over. Somewhere, beyond the walls of the grand mansion, mysteries still lingered. Secrets of the past, waiting to surface. But for now, one truth shone clearly. The baby had found a protector, and the millionaire had found a meaning he never knew he was searching for. The mansion felt different now. The walls, once echoing with quiet tension and unanswered questions, seemed warmer. The baby slept peacefully in the millionaire's arms, a soft rhythm of trust guiding every breath. Gone were the frantic cries, the fear of strangers, and the hesitation that had marked his early days. In their place was something new, a bond so strong it felt unbreakable, almost magical. The millionaire watched him carefully, marveling at how quickly this tiny life had woven itself into the fabric of his own. Every small gesture, the baby's soft laugh, the way his tiny hands clutched his fingers, even the occasional curious gaze, felt like a quiet message. "I am home now. You are mine." The cleaning lady, who had been a silent guardian throughout, smiled quietly from the doorway. Her eyes glistened with tears as she watched them together. "He's finally safe," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. "And he's chosen well." Life in the mansion began to change. The staff, once cautious around the baby, now watched in wonder as he moved freely, laughing and exploring under the careful supervision of the millionaire. Each day brought new adventures. Soft games on the plush rugs, gentle walks in the garden, and quiet moments by the fireplace where the millionaire would read to him, telling stories of distant lands and imagined heroes. But despite the peace, a quiet tension lingered, an awareness that the past had not entirely released its hold. The letters, the locked cabinet, the shadows of secrets, all whispered that more remained to be discovered. And yet, the baby seemed unafraid now, as if he had found protectors strong enough to face anything. One evening, as the sun dipped low behind the mansion, casting long golden rays across the garden, the millionaire sat with the baby on his lap. The little one's eyes sparkled in the fading light, curious and bright. He reached out to touch the millionaire's face, and in that small gesture, the man felt the depth of connection they shared, trust, love, and destiny all intertwined. Then, just as the sky turned a deep shade of violet, the sound of the mail slot clattering caught their attention. A small envelope lay on the marble floor. The millionaire picked it up, curiosity and a twinge of unease stirring in his chest. The envelope had no sender, no hint of its origin. He glanced down at the baby, whose tiny fingers instinctively reached for him, as if sensing the importance of what lay in his hands. With a slow breath, he opened the envelope. Inside were photographs and a note, hinting at a past even deeper than the one they had uncovered. The message was simple but chilling. Some truths are only revealed when the time is right. Watch closely. The baby gurgled softly, pressing his small hand against the millionaire's chest. It was as if he understood that while they had found safety, love, and trust, the mysteries of the past were not entirely gone. They were simply waiting, silently, for the right moment to surface. The millionaire hugged the baby closer, feeling the tiny heartbeat against his own. "We'll face it together," he whispered. "Whatever comes next, we will face it." And in that quiet mansion, under the fading light of the evening, a new chapter began. One filled with laughter, trust, and an unbreakable bond, yet still tinged with the suspense of secrets yet to be revealed. For the first time, both the millionaire and the baby knew what it truly meant to find each other: a protector, a family, and a home. As night settled over the mansion, the baby's soft breaths echoed like a promise, and the millionaire knew one undeniable truth. Their journey was only beginning.